morning, everyone. Happy Transgender Day of Remembrance here, or as we are celebrating the event in the city of Richmond. My name is Cesar Cepeda. I am very excited for our guests today joining, but most importantly, the whole city being able to join in this event. For the past couple of years, we have been raising the transgender flag on the Transgender Day of Remembrance Day in the city of Richmond, and other cities and other agencies have happily joined along. I'm also vice president of the board of directors for the West County Wastewater District, and we've also raised the Transgender Day flag for the first time in our 100-year history this year. Our city of Richmond is leading us forward, and today marks, I believe, either the second or third year that we have done this, and it's such a stark difference from a couple of years ago when we were fighting to try to get the Pride flag in June. And now we're able to fly different flags that recognize diversity and equity and bringing our city and our residents together on a common ground and being able to celebrate all of us for our differences and also what makes us more together. With me today, we have a great panel, a great group of individuals here. And I'm going to start off with Madame President of the Board of San Francisco Pride and also a Richmond resident and PAC chair for the Lambda Democratic Club, amongst other multiple hats that Carolyn Wissinger has. But we'll use those for now. Carolyn, welcome. Thank you for joining Richmond and for joining our community in raising the trans flag this day. Please welcome. You have a couple of words for us here.
Yeah, and I thank you so much, Cesar, for that welcome and for the reminder. I've been in Richmond. My family's been here since 1940. I've been here since 1987, and it's just so great to see the changes that have been made in Richmond. I know that our good friend Dwayne Chapman, before he passed, used to tell me so many stories about the queer community in the city of Richmond and all the things that they went through, and the marginalization, those who did not get help and assistance during the AIDS crisis of the 80s, and just to see where we've come since you founded the Richmond Rainbow Pride, and then also Lambda Democratic Club, and the work that we've been able to do in raising the Pride flag and now raising the trans flag. And one of the things that we have a practice that was passed on to me, and I thank so much the folks who came before me at San Francisco Pride who taught this to me. It's so important that when we have the opportunity to actually speak to certain things in our community, if it's not our experience, we do need to allow folks whose experience that is to actually speak for themselves. So, you'll see in the community when we were talking about stopping Asian hate, I was able to deputize our secretary at the time, Win Pham, to speak for us at that time. And it's always been a practice at San Francisco Pride when it comes to Trans Day of Remembrance and Transgender Month and Transgender Awareness Month that we let one of our now majority trans-led board speak for the organization. So I'm going to hand the mic over to my treasurer, my good friend, my partner in crime at San Francisco Pride, Suzanne Ford, who is going to speak about the importance of today.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for the invite. And I'd like to thank the city of Richmond. The transgender community appreciates when you recognize our community. And so I want to say thank you to the city of Richmond for that recognition. I'd also like to set the tone for what this day represents in the trans community. This event began in 1999 by Gwendolyn Ann Smith, and it was a vigil for a trans woman that had been murdered in 1998, Rita Hester. And so for this week for us, and this day in particular, is about recognizing the members of the trans community that have suffered and died by violence. And so I want to set the right tone for today. Of course, we're so glad that you recognize us now and that we are seen in the community, but we also want to remember what we're here for today. We're here to say that the violence against trans people, especially Black trans women, must stop. So I want to make sure that I stress that today. I'm here because members of our community die at the hands of cis people. And so, by recognizing us first, that is a first step in the process, by recognizing that we exist, that we're members of the community, that we're your siblings, we're your aunts, we're your uncles, we're your people. So that's what I'm here to say today. And at San Francisco Pride, yes, this year we do have a majority trans-led board, first time in history. And so I want to say there's been progress. We are seen now, but we got a long way to go. And we will have over in Marin County, we'll have a Transgender Day of Remembrance ceremony on Saturday. And I think at this moment, we'll be reading at least 43 names of trans people that have been murdered in the US this year. So that's what I want to really stress here today is we want to be visible, and we want the violence against trans people to stop in the US. So I really appreciate the invite, and thank you for raising the flag. And, if you see a trans person out in the community this week, acknowledge them and say, what we're going through. So thank you, Carolyn, and thank you, Caesar, and thank you, the City of Richmond. Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne, for joining. Thank you, Carolyn. Yes, super important to have visibility. And with that, we have the City of Richmond to help us out, right? When we founded Richmond Rainbow Pride several years ago, it was just about that. It was bringing visibility to the LGBTQI community to make sure that everyone knew, as Suzanne just mentioned, right? We're your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, your family, and we are here. See us as one, see us as a community, see us as a city. And to think that motion forward, our city council members have a lot to do with it, because they help and they vote to pass the resolutions to acknowledge our communities. And with that here, we have two of our council members, Council Member Eduardo Martinez, who's going to give us a couple of words, and then followed by Council Member Claudia Jimenez. So we'll go over to our Council Member Eduardo Martinez, who's standing nearby to help raise that flag there at City Hall. So Council Member Eduardo Martinez, thank you so much for joining us. Do you have a couple of words for us?
I do. I want to thank the transgender community for recognizing me as an ally. I want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to learn more about the transgender community. If I hadn't been asked to speak, I wouldn't have taken the time to learn the meaning of the colors of a transgender flag. I wouldn't have learned about Rita Hester, African-American transgender woman who was murdered in 1998. And being a Chicano man in a time when prejudice was strong, what it feels like to be ostracized, but I only know 1/3 of it. Hester was not only a person of color, but she was a woman and she was transgender, which gave her 3 strikes against her in the community that we have. So I want to say that I know that before and after the death of Rita Hester, there have been many, many transgender people who have been murdered, and that November the 20th is the day designated to remember them. And I'm here to remind myself that every day should be a day of remembrance, a day to remember the transgender people who have died by violence, since their killers, since law enforcement, and since the media often tries to erase their existence. And it's through ignorance or fear that many beautiful souls have been extinguished because their gender couldn't be boxed in a package society has demanded that we inhabit. We're raising the flag today so that it will be flying when the sun rises on November the 20th. And when we look at that flag, we need to remind ourselves that each of us is an individual capable of loving and being loved. No matter how different we seem to one another, the unique spirit that we carry within ourselves is deserving of love. This is a time for us to honor the lives of all who have died due to anti-gender violence. By raising this flag, we are expressing love and respect in the face of national indifference and hatred. It's taken time, it's taken exposure to a variety of lifestyles for me to understand the many orientations of gender. I'm still learning that when I look at others, they are my mirror. Each each and every day we need to see that love is fluid, and we must recognize the beauty in others in order to love ourselves. But that's not enough. We must also make a difference by being visible, by speaking out, educating and organizing against anti-transgender violence. And I want to thank once again the transgender community for helping me to educate myself, for helping me to take that extra step to stand up and make my voice be part of the voice of the transgender community for equality for all. So thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to say thank you for the invitation and thank you for organizing this great event. I think like once again, Richmond is demonstrating that we are getting bigger our circle of human concerns and stop othering people just because their gender identity or expressions. We are recognizing that we have a diverse community and we need to bring them into the circle. And this is one part of that. According to the Transgender Law Center report, transgender and gender non-conforming people experience overwhelming discrimination and marginalization in employment, housing, healthcare, and education based on their gender identity and or expressions. And we need to change that. So today is a day where Richmond is demonstrating that we are in this path, but we as legislators, and I included in this because I am a city council right now, we need to do better. We need to do more. And because it's beyond the resolution, we need to show with regulation, with ordinance, that we are open the opportunities for transgender community to be have better services, to have more opportunities. And this is what we need to continue to do. Happy to work with all of you in this endeavor, because what we need is to open that door for our community that we care about. We need to stop othering people just because they are not look or they don't think the same like us. And this is, we need to, as Professor John Powell said, we need to open and widen the circle of human concern and build bridges so people can belong. So today I am really happy to be here. I know Cesar has been doing great work. Thank you for all of your work. And also I want to thank former council member Jovanka Beckles, who has been one of also the leaders in making sure that our city is moving towards a more diverse and inclusive society. We need to make sure that we continue to do that and that we recognize that the people who are most affected, and we need to work with the people who are most affected so that they can get the services, the support that they need to thrive. And we know that the transgender community has been and is still being one of the communities most affected by discrimination. And we need to stop that. And this is an example. So thank you so much for inviting me and to do this. This is beautiful, and I am your ally in this endeavor of making the city more open to our diversity. Thank you.
Thanks, Councilmember Jimenez. I think we can pan over to the raising of the transgender flag here. We'll take a moment of silence as the flag goes up. flag up. I want to thank everyone again, everyone that has helped along the way to get us here today, who has fought for the rights of the trans community, but also has fought for my rights as a gay man. We recognize transgender individuals for the beginning of what's known the gay movement. One of the individuals known to have thrown the first brick at Stonewall, Marsha P. Johnson. There's countless and so many names that we can go over for the individuals that have stood up, that have built the road that we all are walking on now. I want to thank everyone that has brought us here today, and for all of you who are still with us today, continuing to fight for not just your individual rights, for the rights for those around us. For those that think you have no voice, you do have one. Stand with us. For those of you whose mind has not been open yet, please open your mind and let's change hearts together. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing everyone again soon. Have a beautiful day. Bye everybody.
you.